Flavors and Knowledge is a bilingual podcast focusing on gastronomic education in relation to a healthy lifestyle through food first. Our philosophy carries a moral obligation of sharing sensible knowledge to generate social awareness. Podcasts are in English with an accent and Italian.
Hello friends, welcome back. This is Chef Walter with another episode of Flavors and Knowledge. Today's episode will probably have been more appropriate in June or July, but a good dessert does not have a calendar. Cherry trees are the emblem of abundance. The hot spring brings the red fruits to ripeness and makes them a particularly juicy, sweet, irresistible, but most of all beneficial to our health. We're talking about cherry clafoutis. And if you're looking for a recipe to consume the abundant harvest of your garden, or you love these fruits and you can help but to buy them, I'll share with you a dessert that will delight you. And this French dessert, it's also something that you probably heard before, and you certainly have made, I'm sure. There is an affinity at the table between Italy and France, and food unites us until we confront each other on the soccer pitch. Then we really become enemies. Clafouti comes from the Limoges area with a peak popularity which occurred around the 1900s. The dough resembles that of crepes in many ways. You prepare a liquid dough that will wrap the cherries around, and once cooked, it solidifies but retains a soft, creamy consistency, and is truly a delight. Many clafoutis recipes exist, and not all of them are sweet. In fact, using vegetables for the savory version may offer another opportunity for perhaps a light lunch, brunch, or a light dinner. I have made them with tomatoes, rhubarb, apples, pears, strawberries, chocolate, Italian prosciutto, tuna, and many others. And of course, you need to adjust your recipes accordingly and be mindful of the liquid proportion according to the used ingredient. Traditionally, you can use whole cherries with pits in order to avoid losing the juices and the aroma by pitting them. However, if you don't like the idea of having to pay attention to every bite, with the danger of perhaps scheduling a dentist visit, I recommend that you pit them. You can use a sharp paring knife for the procedure, and it will take you a little practice at first if you're a novice. Pitting the cherries may be the most challenging task for the procedures. In my kitchen, I've made several, as I said, but the one below that I'm going to share with you really makes me happier. I found it years ago, and I credit Aaron Hutchinson from the Washington Post because of its excellent execution. And so let's begin with the ingredients that you're going to be needing. Unsalted butter at room temperature for the greasing, 3 cups of stemmed and pitted sweet cherries, 3 large organic eggs, 1/4 cup of whole organic milk, half cup plus 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, and this will be divided, half cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, half teaspoon of almond extract, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and some confectionery sugars for the dusting portion of the recipe. Position a rack in the middle of the oven and preheat it to 375. Grease a 10-inch cast iron skillet or other similarly sized baking dishes and do that liberally with butter. Lay the cherries in a single layer in the skillet. In a blender, combine the eggs, milk, the sugar, the flour, vanilla, almond extract, and salt, and blend at high speed until smooth, which will take about 30 seconds, I'll say. Pour the batter over the cherries and sprinkle the top with the remaining 2 tablespoons of sugar. You are now ready to bake the clafoutis for about 45 minutes until the custard sets firmly and a knife or a cake tester inserted in the center comes out relatively clean. Allow to cool for about 5 minutes, and you will notice that the clafouti will deflate slightly as it cools. Then you're able to sprinkle with some confectionery sugar, divide into 6 to 8 slices, and serve warm. At this point, the options of accompaniment are several. I prefer crème fraîche, sometimes freshly whipped cream, or just standalone, or maybe gelato or ice cream. In another note, if you cannot find the cherries, of course, if it's not in the middle of the summer, you're going to have to resort to purchase those from other countries such as Chile, Mexico, or Ecuador. But if you don't mind the travel portion of the fruit and you want to build a new taste for them, you understand that if cherries came out of Oregon or from your backyard, the flavors would be completely different. But there are ways in utilizing products from other countries, and again, as I say, you needed to build the flavors around them. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. It's straightforward, it's not complicated, and the most important aspect is the pitting the cherries. And that does it for this episode on cherry clafoutis. Of course, you can use apples, pears, apricot, peaches, or any fruit that you desire. Follow Flavors and Knowledge on Anchor.fm or any of your preferred platforms. If you have a second, jump into YouTube under the Chef Walter's Cooking School page. There you will find an array of short videocasts about food, of course recipes, health, wellness, history, and anything that is pertinent to our good lifestyle. I will have additional show notes on the complete podcast. In the meantime, if you're making cherry clafoutis and you're on a kitchen today or tonight, always keep your eyes on fire, and I'll reconnect with you on the next round with another striking episode on Flavors and Knowledge. Stay well, be safe. Ciao, ciao.
Flavors and Knowledge is brought to you by Chef Walter's Cooking School in Cranston, Rhode Island. For classes, workshops, events, and programs, please visit our website at chefwalterscookingschool.com. For all other services offered by Chef Walter's Food Group, check out our main website, chefwalter.com.